32. The onePULSE Foundation has been a constant in the Central Florida community after 49 people were shot and killed at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando. The foundation was originally started by the owner of the Pulse nightclub, Barbara Bowie, but today onePULSE is under new leadership. Joining us live this morning is Deborah Bowie, the new executive director for onePULSE. Deborah, good morning. It is good to see you this morning.
Good morning, Danielle. It's great to be with you.
Thank you so much for being here. So what does it mean now to take on this role?
Oh my goodness, this is such an exciting opportunity to be a part of Orlando history, not just Orlando, but the world. We all remember way too well 2016, and there's been a lot of progress since, and then COVID happened. So we are really excited for the opportunity to get back out there in the community and to continue the engagement, to move forward in the building of the Pulse campus. You know, it's obviously not just the museum, but the permanent memorial connected by the crosswalk. And so the fundraising efforts had really slowed down last year. Everyone experienced that, particularly in planned giving. And so the effort right now is to really figure out where we are with construction costs. We know the supply chain all too well, all of the issues that COVID has caused. And so there's a meeting with our design and construction committee that haven't met in a while, just to get the real numbers, get a sense of really where we are. Our plan, of course, continues to have the campus constructed and to be open by our 2026, which is really the 10-year remembrance. The museum itself will take the longest to build. 2 years is what I've been told. And so when you look at the 2-year mark for the museum and then the 1 year for the crosswalk and the 1 year for the memorial, we have a lot of work to do. The museum is a living institution. So when I say that, the other part of just the construction is to make sure that we continue in our original programming, our educational efforts, ways to really engage, educate people about not just the night that happened, but really what it looks like beyond. What can we do to bring light to something that was so dark in Orlando's history?
And also to work with the families, some of whom are for this museum, right, and others of whom are not. And they say that money
Yes.
should go to the actual victims. And I'm sure that's something that you're going to be contending with as well in this new role. And you've also said that you are uniquely qualified for this role because you've also experienced a kind of life-altering tragedy. Can you share that with us?
Yes, I can. So this is probably the first time in my career where I don't have to segregate who I am. My sister was murdered in a triple homicide home invasion in South Florida, Miramar, in 1994, 28 years ago. And I'm still in court. So I know what it means. Communities often move on sometimes, right? We live in a 24-hour, the news cycle is so short today. But for families who are impacted, for those who survive it, life is different. And so you mentioned earlier about the families. And yes, there are some people who feel very strongly that the museum and everything on the site, they don't want to see anything there. It's obviously never my intention to tell a victim's family how they should feel about Pulse. What my hope is that when we are done with the project, that they will be thankful that the Orlando community has not forgotten their loved one and that we took something so dark and turned it into something light.
What would you say that you're most looking forward to in this new role?
Oh, many things, but I think the thing that I'm most looking forward to is to be part of something that is so affirming. And every community that is dealing with a mass shooting deals with it differently. And I think Orlando's reaction to what happened is not to let hate win. It's not to be bitter and angry and spend time in a dark place, but to say, you know, we don't want to forget. We want to educate people. We want to take an opportunity to teach empathy and understanding and inclusion. And I love that about Orlando. I think that says a lot about the community and the people who live there. And I have children, so I'm not just relocating myself, I'm bringing my kids. That's a community that I want to be a part of all day long. And so just to see the love, an outpouring of support that this community has rallied behind these Pulse families and their survivors, and frankly, the project. It gives me great hope that there are still places in the world where people understand that love is the only way to drive out hate.
Well, you certainly do bring a unique perspective, having experienced tragedy yourself, Deborah Bowie. We do really appreciate you joining us this morning. Best of luck in this new role, and congratulations to you.
Thank you very much, Danielle.
Oh, it is my pleasure. Thank you. It is now